and 95 seasons as the World Championships came to an exciting and sometimes controversial conclusion. The 125 Motocross Championship was one of the most competitive series ever. 94 champion Bobby Moore had returned to the 250 class, and Alessandro Pusa had moved in the opposite direction after an unsuccessful season in the 250s. Pusa, the 1990 250 world champion, started as one of the favourites along with fellow Italian Alessio Chiodi, the runner-up to Bobby Moore in 94. Former world 125 champion Davy Strybos and young French star Sébastien Tortelli were two of the main contenders. The highlight for British fans was of course Paul Malin. His victory came in his home GP at Fox Hill. The 1995 series went down to the wire, with Pusa and Chiodi separated only by a handful of points as they went into the final round in Germany. It was the Dutchman Strybos who took overall victory in the GP, but it was Pusa who took the title ahead of fellow countryman Chiodi. As Pusa crossed the line in Strybos's wheel tracks, the Italian was mobbed by his delighted fans.
Sandro, it's a long time since your last World Championship. How do you feel?
Yeah, maybe 5 years. But the first championship me, the day 19. Today, 95, the second World Champion. For me, it's very fantastic. It's incredible. The first for 10 meter, Chiodi. Sorry, I speak a little bit in English. It's very fantastic for me today. Yeah.
The 250 World Championship was seen as a very open competition after the double title holder Greg Albertine had finally made the move to race in America. Stefan Everts, runner-up to Albertine in 94, started the championship as favourite, but several other riders, including the Frenchman Yves de Maria and Everts' countryman Marnik Berfoots, made their mark on the series. After the early round, de Maria and the American Talon Voland were both in contention, but the series finally came down to a two-horse race between Everts and Barefoots. The highlight of the championship, as far as British fans were concerned, was the first ever 250 GP race victory for many times British champion Kurt Nickel riding in Ireland. Like the World 125 Championship, the 250 title was decided in the very last meeting of the season at Château Delaroy in France, where Everts clinched the 250 crown when he finally edged out his countryman Barefoots. Volan led the first race from Bobby Moore, but all eyes were on the championship leaders. When Barefoots finally pulled out of the race after crashing, the title belonged to Everts. As Everts crossed the line after the first race, he was mobbed by delirious Belgian fans. It was also an historic win for Japanese manufacturer Kawasaki, who clinched their first ever World Championship.
I knew the moment that Monique was out of the race that I was already champion, but I just wanted to finish the race for my fans and all the other people who was waiting for me at the finish line. I never had that moment, you know. The first one I had was in Japan, so my fans could not be there, but like here it was different, so I just wanted to go over that finish line, and it was a very nice feeling.
The 500cc World Motocross Championship again developed into a two-horse race, but this time it was a battle between the four-stroke of Joel Smets on the Husaberg and the two-stroke KTM of former 125 and 250 world champion Trampus Parker. The four-stroke of Jackie Martins, Peter Johansson and Johan Boonen also appeared near the front of the pack, but after a long campaign it was down to a two-horse race between Smets and Parker on the all-new look orange KTM. This championship again went down to the last round, but far from pushing Smets all the way to the wire, Parker suffered some bad luck and the Belgian rider was then able to take the championship with ease. Crashes in the early stages of the race made it an almost impossible task for Parker to prevent Smets from securing his first world championship. Smets made it a second world title for Belgium as he took the championship in the final round. Once again, the newly crowned champion was mobbed by his loyal travelling Belgian fans. The highlight of the season for British fans was of course the double-header 125 and 250 GP at Fox Hill near Swindon in Wiltshire. 80 of the world's top riders thrilled the ecstatic British crowd with 4 fantastic races over the tricky hillside course. The first 125 race started in spectacular fashion when a multiple pile-up on the opening bend saw Brit Paul Malin steer clear of the carnage to take a start-to-finish win. Malin thrilled the crowd in race 2 when a second place was enough to win the overall 125 GP. It was the first British 125 GP victory on home soil since Alan Morrison at Nantwich in 1990, and didn't the fans enjoy it? Nicol completed an excellent day for Britain with a third place overall, behind the exciting German rider Pitt Beyer and eventual winner Stefan Everts, who took the overall victory for the day. The 1995 Motocross Des Nations ended with an almost perfect clean sweep of motocross titles for Belgium, as they became only the second country to defeat the Americans in 15 years of the event. Defending champions Britain, who had ended America's 13-year winning streak the previous year, finished a disappointing fourth. The British team of Paul Cooper, Kurt Nicol and Paul Malin still had a controversial say in the championship, as everything was decided in the final race of the day. American Jeff Emig was leading from Belgium Joel Smets. Nicol was in third, followed closely by the charging American Ryan Hughes. If Hughes had passed Nicol and then gone on to pass Smets, the Americans would have won. It wasn't to be. A crash by Nicol took down Hughes and allowed the Belgium enough time to comfortably ride home for victory. The 1994 British Grand Prix at Fox Hill saw American Bobby Moore take a huge step towards the world title. In some thrilling races, Moore triumphed over his great rival, Chiodi. The 1994 British 250 Grand Prix at Foxhill proved to be another spectacular event, with reigning world champion Greg Albertine featuring highly. Frenchman Yves de Maurier went on to win the GP in spectacular fashion, but it was Brit Kurt Nickel who set the home crowd alight with two excellent performances. The 1994 British 500 Grand Prix at Hawkston Park was a showcase for the reigning Open World Champion Jackie Martins on the four-stroke Husqvarna. Martins powered his way to two clear victories, with fellow Belgium Joel Smets in close pursuit on the Italian Vertemati. Swede Marcus Hansen, who went on to win the world title, was also one of the contenders at the Shropshire circuit. Martins was at his best and displayed his obvious liking and skill in the Belgium-like sandy conditions. The 1994 World 125's Championship ended a decade of searching for the American Bobby Moore as he took the Chesterfield Yamaha to victory. 10 years after quitting his native America to seek World Championship glory, Moore achieved his objective. Moore fought a season-long battle with Italian Alessio Chiodi before securing the title. Other riders to feature strongly in the series were defending champion Pedro Truchter of Holland, the German Pitt Beyer, and French star Michael Pichon, who has since quit the European scene to follow the footsteps of fellow countryman Jean-Michel Bayle to race in America. Moore's victory in the World Championship was yet another success for the Chesterfield Yamaha team of Italian Michele Rinaldi. The 1994 250 World Championship proved a great season for the South African Greg Albertijn. Albertijn took the title ahead of Belgium's Stefan Everts after a thrilling series which also saw Yves de Maria and Marnik Burfoots come to the fore in some thrilling races. The 1994 season also featured the final scene in a long and illustrious career of American Donny Schmidt. The 94 season went down to the final Grand Prix in Germany, which saw Kurt Nickel take his first overall victory in a 250 GP with 2 second places. Albertijn rode a steady race to take the title ahead of Everts. Despite being passed by his great rival Everts in the final corner, Albertijn still claimed the World Championship and celebrated with a hardy band of fellow South Africans who had travelled over for the championship deciding race. The 1994 500 World Motocross Championship saw title holder Jackie Martens on the 4-stroke Husqvarna from Belgium take on the renewed onslaught of the 2-stroke Brigade. Sweden's Marcus Hansen led the way and eventually went on to take the world title. Since then, Marcus has quit the sport for health reasons. The championship again went to the final round, and Martens did all that he could to hold on to his title, but he couldn't spoil a brave come-from-behind ride by Hansen, which secured the Swede the world title, much to the delight of the invading Viking fans. The 1994 Motocross Des Nations saw the Americans once again come to Europe full of confidence that they could extend their 13-year winning streak in this World Team Championship. However, the Europeans had other ideas, and it was the brave British team of Kurt Nickel, Rob Herring and Paul Malin who blitzed the rest of the world to take the title off the Americans. The rocky hillside track of Rogenburg in Switzerland was the setting for some brilliant riding from Malin, Nickel and Herring. The result shocked everybody, none more so than the Americans. Britain entered the final race, needing just one good result from seasoned campaigner Kurt Nickel, and he didn't let the travelling fans down. Despite American Mike LaRocco winning the final race, Nickel finished as the second 500 to secure the title for the British. As he crossed the line, he was swamped by British fans and lifted shoulder high. Many of the other European fans joined in the celebrations, delighted to see the Americans' winning streak finally come to an end. The British riders were joined on the podium by team manager Dave Thorpe, 3 times World 500 champion, who played a big part in their victory.